All right, Nightly Touchers. Tonight we have Rob Fieldhouse here to help us answer once and for all definitively the question of whether or not there were dinosaurs on Noah's Ark, and if there were, how that worked.
An interesting topic indeed, Tom. And for this evening's topic, we are actually going to be referencing the creation interpretation by Katie Freites, which is a basic biblical view of science and natural history. Now, in order to place this discussion, I'm going to read the foreword of the book, because it adds a certain amount of clarity to the details that will follow. Christian parents desiring to train your children in the truths and ways of God, rejoice. All of us who've wanted concise and easy to understand handles on basic topics about origins are glad that the Lord equipped Katie Freites to write this little book. The Creation Interpretation is a systematic coverage of many difficult questions that gets right to the root, cause, and effects. Does the Genesis account of creation provide a framework of understanding for nature that makes sense? What fossils really tell us about the past? For the Christian, how can we be equipped to give an answer to those hard questions that we don't feel very adequately suited for the job? Here is a sharp-thinking presentation with open-hearted confidence in God's Word. It encourages honest inspection of how we think and why you believe what you believe. We often feel helpless to defend the biblical truth of creation in the face of so many scientific proclamations. But not only does Katie blow by blow through the smoke and mirrors with bold questions to make you think, she also points out many handy facts that can only fit a thoroughly biblical worldview. So,
I've got to just interject that I feel like Katie knows me personally. Those are my concerns.
Yeah, I mean, the topic of dinosaurs and how they fit into a creationist view of the world only being 6,000 years old is one which is troubling. But I think you'll all agree that once you've listened to this evening's podcast, it's so clearly interpreted and so clearly explained that there can be no question. So I'm going to read from Where Did the Dinosaurs Fit In? And you will notice that there's a Tyrannosaurus Rex we have here on the page. And that's just another example of the easy-to-read, attractive layout and clever use of graphics that you will see throughout this book, as pointed out by Dr. James Kennedy, PhD.
Clever.
So let's go back to the Jurassic Park scenario, where you started. You confidently respond to your inquiring youngster, "Honey, the Jurassic Park period was just one of the many layers of rock strata and fossil laid down by Noah's flood. And all those supposed geologic age layers were actually rocks and fossils that were laid down very quickly in that cataclysmic judgment around 4,400 years ago." Your youngest chimes in, "Were there dinosaurs on the Ark? And if so, how'd they fit them in anyway? Especially those really big ones." "Oh no, not again," you cry. But not to worry, you've read the creation interpretation.
Thanks.
And you're prepared to answer the questions and more. Remember, creation science is not censored science.
Good to remember.
Let's review. Petrosaurs and marine dragons were created on the fifth day. Dinosaurs, those terrible lizards or four-legged land dragons, were created on the sixth day. A representative of every kind of terrestrial animal was on the ark. God chose them and brought them to Noah himself. It's fact. So how did Noah get those really big boys on the ark anyway? As far as we know, all dinosaurs started from eggs, or at the very least, babies. Therefore, young, healthy dinosaurs would have fit nicely. And let's face it, teenagers are resilient and like to hibernate. I mean, I know I did. Tom?
Hibernated like crazy.
Fact. So medium-sized teenage dinosaurs would have been perfect for the trip. We also need to remember that...
I'm just thinking a 40-day, 40-night nap
Yeah.
would have been perfect as a teenager.
Yeah, I mean, I would have... If I was a mid-sized teenage dinosaur and some wandering guy proclaimed a flood, I would have been right on board there. I would have laid down and put to one side my carnivorous instincts and just got along with the other chickens and sheep and...
Appetizers.
Yeah, appetizers. So I think that
it's fact.
We're on track so far for a decent explanation. She goes on, we also need to remember that there was plenty of room on the ark. So not only is she posing that the dinosaurs that were selected were teenage, but there was also room for them. It was almost 1,500,000 cubic feet of space, and presumably she has a good source for that. So we'll go on from there. Fact. That's the same as a 4-story apartment building and covers an entire city block. So we're now very clear about the size of the ark. There was plenty of room, therefore, for dinosaurs to fit in. Now, another question that she goes on to is why the dinosaur footprints turn into fossils when ours apparently didn't, given that we were on the Earth at the same time. Remember, during the flood, the tides were full of erosion sediments that were being deposited very quickly. As these sediment-laden waters came in and out of the changing tides, they left behind a surface not unlike a wet concrete sidewalk. Now, I can picture that.
Yeah, absolutely.
As the dinosaurs and other creatures trying to escape the floodwaters walked or ran across it, they left their footprints in the soon going to turn into stone sidewalk. As the next tide came in, another sidewalk was deposited on top of the last one, preserving those footprints. The ripples in the sand made by raindrops and waves have also been fossilized, this proving obviously the flood took place. Think how fast they normally wash away, and yet because of the unique conditions during the flood, these and